Hey, everybody. Welcome to your girl show, Tweet Talks. Yes, y'all, we are here for another week, another interesting show. But first thing I'm going to say is we got a special guest in the house tonight. Yes, y'all. We have Reverend James Glover, and he is the host of a podcast called A Word from Rev. You there?
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
So
you
tell
for
us,
having me.
so tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Oh man. So Away from the Web is one of my podcasts, but that is one of them that I'm most proud of probably because that's where I got my start at. And it's one where you can just sit back and get a quick word until further notice though. Until God says otherwise, we're focusing on kingdom bosses. And
Okay.
that's actually how I met Miss Tweet Talks,
That's
and
right.
we've been inseparable ever since, basically.
Yes, the vibe is so real, right? We was talking
like
about that. How the
for real,
vibe just we just connected. All
like
right,
we've been talking like we've known each other for years,
right.
legit.
Podcast and regular conversation.
Exactly, for real.
Okay, so I thought it would be interesting to have you on the show because we have spoke about so many different topics. But today's topic is why is there a double standard between men and women? Have you heard that before about there being a big double standard between men and women?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So when we think of a double standard, we'll say, to break it down in the easier term, we'll say, okay, why is it okay for a man to do certain things, whether it be sleep with random women, whether it be to date multiple women, whether it be to maybe even to cheat, and women we just can't get away with doing stuff like that. Why do you think that society has that in play?
I think it's because for men, they if you want to be real with it and you want to keep it all the way funky and keep it all the way fresh, a man cannot handle half of what he puts a woman through.
Okay. That I can get. You know what? It's not a lot of men that would open up and say that.
Because for men, we will sit here, we'll do our dirt, we'll mess around, we'll do our dirt, but we expect that woman to always be right there at home when we get done. We can mess with 25, 35, 45 women, but let that woman mess with one man. We are mad, our whole life is falling apart. And the main reason for that is, in my honest opinion, is because when a woman gets mad, she don't get mad. She get even, and she's gonna hit you where it hurts.
That's true. That is true. It's different how women and men play that same game. Because when I think about it, and you think of the double standard, I always think about the fact that okay, women are emotional. We all know that women are emotional, and the way we handle things is more of emotional. So if we're dealing with a man and he decides that he's going to step out and he's going to do his thing, it doesn't just hit us in a hurtful way, like okay, we're mad and upset, but it emotionally does something to it causes sadness to us. But for a man, I think a man is going to get more angry about it. So when we
Uh,
think, go ahead, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if you were to tell a female, being that you know females emotional, and she's looking to date, and she says, okay, she wants to know if a man is just with her physically, he's trying to get physically connected to her, or emotional. What would be some of the things that you would tell her to look out for?
Look out for when the man calls you.
Okay,
When I say when the man calls you is the man calling you late at night? Let's keep it real on here. Most of us are grown. Is he calling you at what we call booty call hours?
hmm
Or is he calling you throughout the day like, hey babe, I just he's going? Is he like really showing concern about you? Or is he more concerned about what he can get out of you?
So if he says, okay, let's go out, we're going out, we're hanging out, we're having a good time around each other. Um, and let's say he does call quite often. Um, maybe that's it. He's just bringing her phone off the hook. I mean, does that mean he's really interested in her?
That is a good sign that he's interested, but also you got to watch his actions too, because sometimes a man can be doing that to get you, but a man that truly
Mm,
wants you, he's
okay.
gonna do that consistently. Like I'll give you our case in point. Me and this girl right here, we ain't nowhere in like no relationship type vibe. But every day I call her and I'm like, yo, sis, you good? You straight? Just
Right.
checking on you.
Right. Okay. That's important. So some of our ladies that's listening, that's something really important that you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to me. I'm big on consistency. Okay. And I know I speak for a lot of my ladies listening. Consistency is the key. You can't be consistent with me if you can't be the way you are now continuously. That is a big red flag. Now, you do have some fellas out here that know that you want consistency and they will easily jump on that bandwagon to be consistent, but it's only until they reach a goal, you know. And that's why sometimes when it comes to having a double standard, that's why women have to understand that they have to learn how to have a double mindset. You can't always be emotionally attached to everybody. And that's something that a lot of women, they don't realize is that you can't have that with everybody. Okay? So, when we think of emotional attachment, do men get emotionally attached?
It depends on the woman. Now,
Oh, I heard that grunt in the beginning.
it depends on the woman. I'm gonna be real. Like, okay, there's three types of women, and I'm about to break it down. There's one that, yo, he about to smash and dash. That's it. Ain't no
Hmm.
emotional attachment to that. He gonna do what he do, and then he gonna leave her alone.
Okay, so now
Then,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
then there is the hmm. She's a little harder to get, but so I'm gonna be consistent enough and give her what she says that she wants long enough until I get what I want, and then I'm gonna be who I truly am. And
Hmm.
then there's that woman that is going to knock him off his feet and make him change his ways. As Jaheim said, there's that woman that's gonna make that player hang the jersey up and leave the game.
Now that is very true, and that is so honest, and that's why I often tell a lot of women when I'm speaking to them that men and women are raised with different intentions. Men are often taught, and I'm sure you would agree as a young boy, not to put their emotions into a lot of things. Um, they get into their first fight in school, you know, man up, don't cry, hit him back. Why you just standing there? Why you didn't hit him? Go get him. Men are taught to kind of, they know how to kind of compartmentalize life and say, okay, this situation is this situation. Don't bring my emotions from this situation into the next. And they grow up into being grown men that know how to uh, do this task, which may mean date a female just to get what he gonna get, and focus on just that and not get emotionally attached. Which us women, we not taught that. We taught, just like I always say, we made out of sugars and spice and everything nice, and it's okay to cry. You're a little girl, or you over there crying in the corner. You act like a little girl. This is what we were taught. So a lot of times, women tend to get emotionally attached quicker than men, and I think that we show it differently. I think that when women get emotionally attached, we are quick to show it Whereas we might be a little bit more affectionate, whereas a man may just be there for you when you need him, and he calls that emotionally attached. What do you think?
I would agree. But we have to realize is all of us have different love languages. And
Very true. Yep.
and what we have to do is what we mess up is we start loving somebody in a love language that we want, and then that person is looking at us like, yo, I don't want all this. Like, I didn't ask for this. What do you mean you didn't ask for this? But that's because you didn't sit there and study this person's love language. Let me be real. A relationship is like a test. Every day, you're going to have a test in a relationship. You have to study in order to pass the test. So every day, I don't care if you dating this woman for a year, if y'all been married for 15 years, I don't care if y'all been married for 50 years. Every day, you're going to learn something new about them. And you just got to make sure that you are ready to be able to do it all.
That is so true. You just, gosh, you dropping gems. That that is so true. And you said a relationship every day is going to be a test. That's the ultimate truth right there. A lot of times, some of us ain't ready to keep going through the test over and over again. So that's why we don't sign up for it. Okay, now recently I watched Club Shay Shay, which is Shannon Sharp's show. Are you familiar with it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So recently he had Country Wayne on there, which I am a Country Wayne fan. I pretty
What?
much,
I am too. I didn't know you was a
yes,
Country Wayne fan.
Country Wayne is the man. And you know what I learned so much about watching the interview is that he is authentically funny. Like, Shannon Sharp offered him a drink. Like, on that show, they drink alcoholic beverages while they drink, while they're talking. And he was like, "No, I don't smoke or drink." And since that Cat Williams thing happened, I'm watching what you put in my cup anyway. So it was really funny because he was just himself. And one of the things that he said to me was it really stuck out because he mentioned, he had a lot of women in his life and he learned a lot because his mom passed away at the age of 11 and he learned a lot about how to deal with women. One of the things that he said is, he said that being a celebrity, if he's dating a woman and he thinks that this woman is satisfied with him intimately, she's satisfied with him relationally, financially, he said that same woman can go through a drive-through and meet a guy that's cooking chicken at a restaurant and leave him and fall madly in love with this guy that didn't have as much as him. And the host, Shannon Sharp, was like, "What? Like, how's that?" And basically, um, what he said was, most of the time, if a woman is able to be completely and totally herself with a person, that knocks out all the cheating. That knocks out another man be interested in anything. So when I thought about that, I said, you know what? That does have some truth to it. I think the connection between the two is also important. But I thought that was really important that he felt like, oh, it's more important for a woman to be totally and completely herself. And that would knock out any prospects of anything else happening, if her running off and being with somebody else, of her cheating or anything. Do you think that's true with a man?
Somewhat. Somewhat. It depends on the vibe that we're getting from that woman.
Okay.
It depends on how that woman is making us feel. If the woman is making us feel like a king at home, then trust and believe me, we don't care how much money she makes or whatever. We're gonna ride with her.
Okay. So what about if another woman comes along and that man is being treated like a king. He's getting the dinner cooked. The house is cleaned and all those things. And another woman comes along and she makes him feel like it's okay for him to bring down that mask of even masculinity. If She allows him to be totally him. If he feels like he wants to cry on her shoulder about something, she's totally okay with it. Like, is that a woman that could take him away from his number one?
Definitely is. Definitely is. That's why it is important before you get in a relationship with somebody, you have to be their best friend first.
Oh, preach you that right there. Don't let me interrupt you no more. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. You are good, sis. You are good. You are good.
That is true.
Like, like you gotta be their best friend first because let's be real. There are gonna be days where I don't love you. There's gonna be days where I don't even like you. But I
Hmm.
got to, if I'm your best friend first, I'm gonna tolerate you through
Hmm.
all of it, through the ups, through
Right.
the downs, through everything.
Hmm.
So
And I feel like relationships nowadays don't do that. Like my mom, she always tells me, she said, you have to get to know a person when they're mad, they happy, when they broke, when they rich, when you got to know them when they mourning, when they not. You have to know a person at so many different levels of life before you can actually decide to call them your own. And that is true. They say when you live with somebody, you get to know them. And when you live with somebody, of course, you're going to get to know them through different seasons of their life. So I totally agree with that. That's pivotal.
oh
So
yeah,
now, so now the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a scenario, okay?
let's
And with
do it.
with this scenario, I want you to tell me how you would deal with it, okay?
Okay.
So a man comes to you. You are the pastor of a church. He comes to you, and this man is not a member of the church. He is someone that frequents the church. He's been coming often, and he's considered joining. Um, More recently, you've seen him come with a female. He tells you that female is his girlfriend, and they're considering getting married, and they want to come to you so that you can do some counseling. You could talk to him while about marriage. Now he comes to you alone, and he says that he wants to marry this female. Now you've noticed him come to the church a few times beforehand with different women. You've also noticed he is, he's a male he pretty much stays in everybody's face, female's face in the church, just because I don't know any other way of saying it. Um, and you can kind of tell his personality. You've gotten to know him. He's helped you with several different events. What do you tell this man?
What I would tell him first off is, what do you love about her?
Mm,
That would be the first question. If he can't tell me three things that he loves about her, then that's a red flag for me. The next question that I would ask him is, are you in love with love? Or are you in love with that person?
and
Because
that
being in love with the love and being in love with that person is two different things.
definitely.
And the last thing that I would ask him is, are you trying to have a ceremony or are you trying to have a marriage?
Mm.
Because marriage and a ceremony are two different things. The ceremony is the party, the celebration, the exchanging of vows, everybody saying you look cute and all of that. The marriage is we got $5 in our account and our bills are $1,500.
Now, that's right. That's right. That's right. And you know what? I'm a female and I'm going to say this. But a lot of us women are looking for the celebration, the ceremony, the ring. That's the biggie, the ring. Being able
Mm-hmm.
to put on this dress, and sashay down the aisle. I've heard many women say before getting married, "Oh, this is my wedding. I'm the queen. I should be." And to me, that's a big red flag because I was letting that.
Woo! Don't don't say the queen word. You know I'm
Yes,
triggered
I
by
heard it.
that.
I've heard it. This
You
is
you
my
know I'm
wedding.
triggered by that word. You know it.
Yes, yes, I know. It's so true because to me it's like saying, "This is my event. This is my ceremony. You are going to be with me. There's no we." And another red flag is with marriage is when you hear a man say, this is her day, let her do it. Because what you're doing is you starting something off like she's gonna be running things,
For
and
the
if she's
men
not,
though, let me say this though. For the men, we ain't concerned too much with the wedding. All we concerned about is, yo, tell me how much it's gonna cost. I'll help pay for it. Some of us are like, you know what, look, just tell me how much you need. I'll pay for it. You tell me how much the tuxes are gonna be. I'll make sure my boys got theirs and tell me what time the wedding rehearsal is gonna be and tell me what time the wedding's gonna be and I'll be here. That's what we concerned about.
oh, okay, got it. So, so now basically you would question. It sounds like you would question this male's love for this female. Okay, so now now he's been counseled by you. Now the fact that would you mention the fact that you've seen him kind of flamboyant with other females in the church, or maybe dating?
Definitely.
Okay, you would speak to him about it because I was wondering like would you leave it out or would you ignore it or like how would you go about that?
Definitely. I would like bring it up. I'd be like, look, once you get married, you don't want your good to be evil spoken of. So let's not even like show even the glimpse of evil. Let's
Hmm.
not give the devil any let's not give the devil any leeway to come in and take over. Like,
Right,
let's make sure we done cleaned up all this.
right. Okay. Now, if that female, now they've come to you as a couple because I'm not married, but I do know that part of that counseling is they would maybe need to come as a group. So, if the two of them come before you, she's with him, she comes and he comes together. What are some of the questions that you would ask them as a couple?
What are your 5-year goals and what are your 10-year goals?
I know that's right. That's smart. Not we're not talking about today because sometimes what you see before you is not how
Yeah,
the relationship will grow to be.
yeah. And then what I would do after that is I would ask them to write down on a piece of paper the first thing that they noticed about each other.
Mm,
If it was not, if the first thing that they noticed about each other was, if the man's first thing was, oh, I noticed her hair.
okay,
But
I
if the
guess.
man's first thing was like, yo, I noticed her hair, like I noticed this, I noticed that, and not her personality or how she treated somebody, then no, let's be real, we are human beings. So the first thing that a lot of us are gonna notice is the physical.
Right. We're human. Right.
But we gotta make sure that it's beyond the physical. Cause let's be real, as you get older, the physical will fade away. So
Hmm.
what is it else is it that drew me to you?
Now, see, I'm glad you said that because that is extremely important, and that's one of the things that I always tell women today, and I advocate for it. I don't want anybody to be interested in me because of the way I look or this physical feature, or that physical feature, because life changes, our life situations change, things happen daily, and we don't know what we may look like tomorrow morning when we wake up. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were having an actual conversation about marriage and being together for a long period of time. And one of the things that he said is it's hard for difficult for a man to be with a woman if she gets sick. That blew my mind. That blew my mind because in my mind I was thinking to myself, that can happen to anybody. Like, could you?
Wait, why did he say it was difficult for a man to be with somebody when they've been sick, a woman when she been sick? Because part of the vows is sickness and then health.
That's what I explained to him. But his own situation, I pretty much think that's what it came from, because he had went through situations in his own marriage where his wife wasn't well, and I'm not sure if that was the reason why they're not together or anything like that. But that was something he said to me, which was like a really big. I was like, wow, like, is this the time that we've come to? Is everybody wants to see a wedding and they want to see a ring, but they have really no chance of longevity? Because I mean, we look at the news every day. You know, things happen to people. Does that mean that the love is gone? That means that it was pretty much a physical thing. It was physical, what you can do for me or how good you look with me. And it's sad, but you know, we're in 2024, and that's what people seem to be looking to do.
Exactly. I would agree with that.
But we're gonna go ahead and close out because I know we've been on here for a little while, so we're gonna let you go for the evening. But I do totally appreciate you being on our show today,
Oh,
and
no problem.
I'm hoping that you'll come back in the near future, and we'll be able to discuss some of the
Look,
other topics of the world that we live in today, and maybe give some more scenarios.
anytime, anytime. You know, I'm only a phone call away. Anytime you call me, I'm gonna make time. I'll make it work. I got you.
All right, that's what I like to hear. All right, so to my Tweet Talks community, we're gonna say good night. Y'all have a good evening, and tweet, y'all.
All
Peace.
right. Peace.